Welcome back to this explainer made by Forge College. So, in our last lesson, paymaster roles, costs, and security, we fueled up our vehicle and made sure our transactions were fully funded. But today we're throwing on our hard hats and heading straight into the debugging lab. We're tackling scaling patterns and troubleshooting from Metaplex Core integrations. We really want to see exactly what happens when thousands of users hit the gas pedal all at once. We're going to figure out how to make our Solana deployments absolutely 100% bulletproof.
Here's a quick look at our agenda for today's operational mitigations. 1. Scaling up the pipes. 2. Fixing gaps with backfills. 3. Smart retries avoid duplicates. 4. Monitoring your core engine. And 5. Your production survival guide. Let's dive right in.
All right, Section 1, Scaling up the pipes.
Okay, so before you deploy a massive compressed NFT collection to mainnet, you really have to rehearse your failure modes, right? We're talking traffic bursts, missing data, dropped webhooks, the whole shebang. First up on the test bench, simulating a massive burst of mint traffic to see how our system handles the heat. Because, if you build something great, people will come and they will literally all click mint at the exact same millisecond. When that happens, you've got to manage those traffic bursts using batch processing to prevent a total server collapse. I like to think of batch processing kind of like the bouncers at an exclusive nightclub. You absolutely cannot let 500 people push through those front doors all at once. The whole building would just collapse from the back pressure. In Web3 terms, your API endpoints and index layers just crash under the weight of those requests. You need a system that lets them in controlled, manageable groups.
To do that, take a look at this starter configuration. Think of these as your mechanics tuning knobs. You use these to trade off latency and prevent downstream overload. For instance, a page size of 500 controls how many ownership events you're requesting from the Digital Asset Standard or DAS API at once. Make it too high, the payload breaks. Too low, you're making way too many network requests. You pair that with parallel pages set to 3 to limit concurrent fetches and add an exponential backoff for retries. These are literally the exact levers you pull to keep your system breathing when the network gets super congested.
Moving right along to Section 2, Fixing gaps with backfills. Picture this. A temporary webhook crash causes a partial indexing gap. Suddenly, out of nowhere, your database is missing critical ownership records. To fix these gaps, we run what are called backfills. But, and this is absolutely crucial, they must be idempotent. Now, idempotent is really just a fancy computer science way of saying, don't do the exact same thing twice if you don't have to. It's kind of like filling in the missing issues in your comic book collection. You want to buy the ones you missed, but you definitely don't want to accidentally buy duplicate copies of issues you already own. In your database, applying duplicate events can completely corrupt the ownership state of an asset, which is just a massive headache.
So the safest way to repair these gaps is by using a 3-step monotonic check. It mathematically guarantees you won't produce duplicate state changes. Step 1, you query DAS for the ownership history. Step 2, you check the local sequence number you already have saved. And Step 3, this is where the magic happens, you apply the update only if the incoming sequence is strictly newer. If the event is older or even identical to what you already have, you just ignore it. You're always moving forward, never backward.
Up next, Section 3, Smart retries avoid duplicates.
So what happens when RPCs, your remote procedure calls, and your webhooks get noisy, start timing out, and just fail intermittently? Well, if you aren't careful, you end up shouting, "Why did my user just mint 14 identical NFTs?" Yeah, this is the absolute nightmare scenario for any stressed out developer. It happens when your system basically panics during a transient network failure. Your server doesn't get a confirmation immediately, so it just blindly resubmits the mint instructions over and over again. All that does is drain gas fees and duplicate assets. No thanks.
On the left side here, we see that blind resubmit approach, which leads to pure chaos, orphan tokens, the works. On the right, we have a state-aware retry. You need to treat your retries like checking if an angry text actually sent before furiously hitting send again and double texting. A state-aware retry means you explicitly check the on-chain token account first. You basically ask the blockchain, hey, did that last mint transaction actually go through? If it did, boom, mark it as a success and move on. Peaceful recovery.
All right, Section 4, Monitoring your core engine.
Now that we've patched up the pipes and fixed the duplicate issue, how do we actually know if our engine is quietly drifting out of sync without us even realizing it? Well, we need an early warning system. We set up these lightweight, high-impact monitoring checks to act as our radar. First, an ownership checksum. You just compare your local database record count against a DAS API snapshot. If they don't match, you've drifted. Next, track your webhook delivery success rate. You'll want to set an alert if that rate ever drops below 95%.
Running these as simple cron jobs or exporting them as Prometheus metrics gives you the lead time to run a targeted backfill before your customers even notice their shiny new NFT isn't showing up in their wallet.
And finally, Section 5, your production survival guide.
It's time to bring all of these stress tests and mitigations together into our final deliverable. This debug report is basically your ultimate survival runbook. It meticulously documents every single reproduced failure, the root cause, and the exact validated config values you need to run smoothly in production. For example, when a burst mint caused missing events, our root cause was insufficient page parallelism. The fix? We just bumped up parallel pages to 3. The verification? A successful backfill with a delta of 0. When a webhook dropped because a consumer crashed for 30 seconds, we ran an idempotent backfill and verified that 0 duplicates were produced. Seriously, this table is your gold standard for a stress-free deployment. And trust me, you are going to need it. Keep this debug report handy for our next step. You'll carry this exact document into our next lesson, Project Architecture for CNFT Collections. We'll be using these exact operational findings to shape your deployment architecture, figure out where to place your consumers, and intelligently scale your index workers based on actual data rather than just guesswork.
So, the big question, are your Metaplex integrations actually ready to survive a massive traffic burst? Well, by managing batch sizes, enforcing idempotency, and implementing state-aware retries, they absolutely will be for sure. Thanks so much for tuning in to this explainer made by Forge College. To learn more about scaling on Solana and to dive deeper into a ton of other amazing Web3 topics, be sure to head over to forge.college. Keep testing, keep building, and we'll see you in the next one.